guys. All right. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're here. Monday morning. We didn't have as many in Blissful, but I wasn't surprised because I don't know how you felt over the weekend with this eclipse, but it was intense for me personally. We had a new moon partial solar eclipse on Saturday, and leading up to it, I had just done a yoga retreat out in Utah, returned very, very sleep deprived, and was trying to catch up on my rest. And then Saturday I woke up literally like I felt like I was flatlining, like no energy whatsoever. It was hard for me to move. It was all I could do to talk. And my family was worried about me. They kept checking there, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I have zero thoughts going through my head. Like my head was blank. And it kind of freaked me out for a little bit. I was like, am I out of body? I'm like, no, I'm here. I'm in body. Like I'm physically here, but I wasn't here. And then yesterday I got up to go teach to discover that I had signed up to sub 2 more classes last night and had failed to put it in my calendar. So yesterday was a busy day for me, and I'm still feeling a lack of energy. It's the best way that I can describe it. We are going to still move today because this is gentle flow, and I know that Mondays we move and Wednesdays we do a little bit more stillness and restorative posing. So I'll go ahead and mention that when I did this retreat out in Utah, I do a theme every time. Like in Costa Rica, I did forest bathing because our platform was underneath the trees. So I gave a lot of information about the wisdom of trees and how information is shared. And we just kind of really enjoyed being under the envelope of the canopy of all those trees out there. For this one, we were starting on Earth Day. And I knew that there was a medicine wheel on site. And I just learned about the medicine wheel last year when we were in Sedona. And so I wanted to start us off that day being barefoot in that, rich red soil and doing some earthing and doing that ritual. And then my flight got canceled and then delayed. And then I had to switch airlines and I rolled in at midnight. So Earth Day for me was spent as an aerial view down to earth instead of actually being in the dirt like I wanted to be. So basically we had to roll things over. But what I wanted to focus on for that retreat was Earth Day was that Friday. And then I kind of switched gears and I focused on Saturday being named after the Roman god or the planet Saturn and the energy behind that. And then we focused on the sun on Sunday because that's what Sunday was named after. And Monday is actually taken after the moon. So every day we were kind of focusing on kind of more or less a celestial body. And I thought with the eclipse, I could review just a little bit of that for you today, because we're going to be doing a blend of a moon south and a sun south. So in the history of yoga, it was passed down orally, teacher to student. It was more about the philosophy or the code of living. It was like morals to live by. All right, do not lie, do not steal, don't be too possessive, practice cleanliness, do the self-study, be devoted to something higher than you are. The list goes on and on. And then it was about meditation and sitting in meditation to purify your mind. And then postures came into the picture much later to help to cleanse and purify the body. So if you look back towards the origins of the sun salutation, they really don't know what the origins of the sun salutation are, even though some say it was in Vedic times, in Vedic practices. They would wake up and they would face the east where the sun was rising, and they would give adoration to the sun. And they had a sun god called Surya. And so think about everything that we receive from the sun, the light, the energy, the heat, the warmth, and the fact that the planets orbit the sun. So everything kind of revolved around that. So they practice this for Surya, and to awaken the day and to welcome the sun daily. Other places will say, it came about later, just when posture started getting created, and they just wanted to lengthen and strengthen the muscles. They just wanted the purification, and they wanted to open up the energetic channels so that they were more harmonious and more balanced between mind, body, spirit. Either way, that's a little bit of the history with Surya and the sun salutations. With the moon salutation, there was a moon god in the Indian culture called Chandra. And so Chandrasana is named after Chandra. The moon obviously was also revered because of its seasons, because of its phases, and that's how they could also keep up with the calendar and the days. And they'd also do this with the eclipses. When we were in Sedona, we went to a place where the Native Americans and the shamans had engraved things into the stone. And they were showing this depicted the eclipses. This depicted this time of year when they would harvest or when they would plant and so on and so forth. So this goes on in past cultures, not just to the Indian culture. But anyway, the moon salutation actually wasn't invented until the 1980s. And it was by a group of women at a place called Kripalu up in New York. I'm guessing Kripalu is still around. I haven't looked since COVID. I hope it's still around. It's an ashram where you can go and study yoga and Ayurveda. They have a lot of different events there, weekly, or did. But anyway, we're going to be doing a blend of that, a sunset salutation as well as a moon salutation. And we're going to start off on our backs. Did everybody get a strap? Did everybody see the box? Does anybody need one? And I'll bring it in. Have that close by. Start reclined with your feet apart and fanned away from your center. Take your right hand over your belly and place your left hand over your chest. Close your eyes. The ancient yogis used to say that we embody rivers, mountains, fields, plains, the earth, the sun, and the moon inside of us. And now science is actually telling us that yes, we are made of the same things that is found in stars. We even have all of the elements inside. The earth element with what is solid and dense, that which returns back to the earth. We have the water element. In fact, they say the body is about 70 to 80% of water. We hold and carry the air element. You can experience this with your breath. We have the fire. Us ladies know about this when we're going through menopause. But we also know that we have this inner Agni, this digestive fire that helps to break up the foods that we intake. We have passionate fire that burns inside, that motivates us, that drives us, that fulfills us, that transforms us, and helps us to evolve. And of course, the ether. So as you're here taking rest, taking deep breaths, Be aware of this, but also be aware of the wave of the breath as it rolls back and forth between your hands. We're going to begin to warm up the body. So go ahead and slide your feet closer together. Take one of your hands to find your strap. Open up the strap. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. Take the strap around the sole of the foot and send it up in the air. Holding the strap, letting the shoulders plant down. Finding your personal edge of flexibility. So sometimes I feel like people think that the leg has to be aligned over the body. But if your hamstrings are tight, then you may have to angle the leg forward. If your hamstrings are more open, you may be able to pull the leg in a little nearer. Now you can choose, since this is gentle, whether or not you want your left leg fired up, extended and pushing down, or more relaxed. And then take both ends of the strap into your right hand. Now we are going to activate the left leg because we're going to need it to be active, lengthening and strengthening as we slowly open the right leg to the right side. Being stationed on the low back and the buttocks so that you're not tipping or turning from your pelvis. Opening up the inseam of the thigh. And on your next in-breath, sail the leg back up overhead, swap hands to hold the strap. And then send the leg across the midline without the twist. Again, staying stationed on your back, pushing the foot up into the fabric, spreading the toes nice and wide. And then lengthen your right arm to your right side, palm turned open towards the heavens. Allow yourself to roll towards your left hip. Send the leg over and across the body. And breathe. Inhale, realign the leg over you. Exhale, bend the knee, remove the footing, and slide your right leg long. Throw your left knee in towards your chest. Take it to Padangusthasana A, this first mechanic where you're opening up the hamstrings. Determining for yourself, do you want your right leg engaged or not? So it may surprise you when you study the chakras that the first chakra actually governs circulation. You might want to automatically place that with the heart chakra. But circulation is governed by the first, same with the skeletal system. Finding your edge of flexibility. Not wishing or wanting for it to be any different than it is right now. Just accepting and allowing. Now take both ends of the strap into your left hand, fire up the right leg, and slowly sail the leg open and away from your body. Push out through the right heel, drop down through your right thigh, settle down through the right hip. From Padangusthasana B, lift the leg back up, swap hands to hold the strap, and at first just teeter the leg across your midline. Isolating and opening up the IT band. So when you get those little shakes, those quivers, sometimes it's muscles awakening and strengthening. Sometimes it's muscles releasing tension. And sometimes it's a fair warning that you're doing too much or going too far and need to come out. So stay internal, maintain some introspection. And then roll into the twist. Sending the leg on over, hovering it right above the floor, opening up the left palm. On your next in-breath, gently roll back to center. Bend the knee, remove the strap, and send the strap to the side. We're gonna bend both knees. We're gonna roll over to the right, push down to the left palm, and slowly come up. All right, we're gonna come all the way up to stand. Because like I said, we're going to be doing a blend today of both a moon sow and a sun sow. We're going to start off with a Surya Namaskara. So flatten the soles of the feet. Bring your hands to the salutation seal. This usually begins and ends the salutation. Namaskara means to admire, to bow. So inhale, let your arms float up alongside the face. As you exhale, dive forward and into your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen out through the vertebrae. Exhale, slowly bow back over and down. There is a mantra that says, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the teacher within. I bow to the creator of all. Inhale, come all the way back up to the top. And exhale, hands together, coming back to the heart. We're going to do two more halves. Inhale, the arms circle wide and up. Beautiful. Exhale, fold down to your Uttanasana, opening the back of the body. Inhale, lift and lengthen up halfway, shoulders crank back away from the ears. And then exhale, drape back down. Inhale, coming all the way up to the top. And exhale, hands slide down to the heart. One more of those. Inhaling. Exhaling. Beautiful breath, by the way. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, this time step back to plank. We're gonna keep it rolling. Exhale, we're gonna come down to the knees and then untuck the toes. Inhale, open up to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow, sinking the belly, expanding the throat. And then, sorry, Avery. Continue with your practice. So then draw the navel in, flatten the back. Curl the toes under, launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Now that last positioning that we were doing on the knees, doing the cat-cow, was all about bringing flexibility to the spine, some mobility to the upper body. Now we're going to do some strengthening for the whole body. Now I want you to be mindful, instead of just using the strength of your arms, to also use the strength of your core. As you inhale, you're rocking forward into plank. The head is going to stay up. And then as you exhale, use your core to power back as you pressurize your hands and lower the head. Good. Inhale, come forward to plank, stacking the arm bones. Good. Exhale. Take it into downward facing dog. Good. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then from here, go ahead and sit down to your knees. Untuck the toes. Flow into up dog. And as you exhale, rock back into extended child's pose. So we're bringing in the sun salutation elements or poses and just changing up the flow, moving into up dog as you inhale and backing off into child's pose on the exhale. Just a couple more rounds. And on this next child's pose, I would like you to circle your arms beside the legs, palms open at your feet, and dropping down to the brow. Maybe wiggling the fingers if your wrists feel tender. Noticing as you take this shape, are there any problem areas? For instance, are your ankles really tight? Are your knees more sensitive? Can you allow the shoulders to melt down and to collapse over the knees? Is it possible to rest on the brow, or do you need a prop? Using your breath to go within. Reconnect to your higher self. Firming as you hold. And now relax away from all outer involvements into my own inner haven of peace. All right, we're going to continue to flow here. As you inhale, you're coming up to standing Vajrasana. You're standing on your shins and the arms lift up. As you exhale, you're going to hold your right hand behind your back. You're going to drape back over your lap and turn to the right temple. And then inhale, you're coming up, standing Vajrasana. Exhale, taking a hold of your left wrist and lowering down to the left temple. And then we continue alternating sides with each out breath. Feel free to activate the Ujjayi Pranayama. To hear that sound. The sound of your breath can be the music. which you're creating these expressions with. One more to each side. This time when you come down, turn to your brow. Reach the arms out in front of you, hands shoulder distance apart. Rock up hands and knees, curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. Now from Adho Mukha Svanasana, we're gonna travel the feet forward towards the hands. So go ahead and meditationally walk one step at a time, and then release the crown of the head. So I mentioned the indwelling place of the moon is, or the sun is considered the solar plexus, the core of the body where we build heat. But the indwelling place of the moon is the brain. So when we fold over, when we're collecting towards the crown, it's like we're drinking the soma, what is considered the nectar of the moon. I like to envision it like sweet honey. On the next in-breath, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And as you exhale, bring hands down to heart center. All right, we're gonna do another form of a sun salutation. Inhale, let your arms reach up. Exhale, flow back in. Inhale, lift and lengthen up halfway. Exhale, lower. Now take your blocks in case you need them alongside your feet. Step back with your left foot and you're lunging with the right. Okay, inhale, you're straightening out the right leg. Exhale, you're re-lunging the knee. Just do that 2 more times. One more. Now hop the left foot forward long enough to plant the back heel, and you're coming up, arms beside you. Now that front knee is gonna stay lunging. As the knee bends, make sure it's pointed towards the center of your foot. Turn your palms to face your thighs and slowly lift the arms straight up. When you lift the arms up, try to stack your head, your shoulders over the brim of the pelvis. Push down through the back half and heel. As you exhale, take the arms behind your back, left arm to the sacrum first, and the right arm below that. Lift the sternum. Look ahead with your eyes. Breathe. One more breath. On the exhale, stay firm in your back foot. Flow down just to the inside of the right knee, and then bow your head, gaze towards your back foot. Squeeze and tuck the right hip in and under. And then inhale, lift your head and heart. Align over the front thigh, release your hands, find those blocks, spin out of the back heel, wiggle the left toes back. Good, lose the blocks, plant the palms, step it into your plank. Good, exhale, land to your knees, untuck your toes. We're moving into cow. And exhale to cat, hollow out the belly and chest. Continue. Cycling through these 2 poses. The outer expression of cow tilt is the in-breath. Creating that rounded shape through your spine and hiding the heart away is the out-breath. Now inhale, table. Curl the toes, downward facing dog on the out breath. And then we're gonna maneuver back and forth between plank and downward facing dog. So when you're ready, rock the hips forward, lift the head up, plank. Exhale, power back, downward facing dog. Continue with that sequence. Stay in control of your breath. Next time you come forward like plank, you're descending your knees, untucking your toes, dropping the hips, opening the chest. And then exhale back to extended child's. 2 more like that. And then circle the arms around you, dripping back down towards the midpoint of your brow, taking the weight off your hands, coming into a state of being and less doing. So when you go into these quieter moments, when you drop inside, and move towards the recesses of your mind, where there's less thoughts occurring. That is similar to what we look at as being dark matter in space. And it's the dark matter in space in which creation forms. If you've never had a chance to look at any of the NASA footage, space shuttle footages, I would highly recommend it. It's amazing to see creation happening in space. Watch long enough for a thought to percolate up to the mind. Maybe it's a conditioned thought. Maybe it's something habitual, or maybe it's something brand new. Next in breath, stretch the arms forward, rock up to hands and knees, exhaling downward facing dog. And we're going to do one more sun sail after this one. Let's conclude this one by stepping the feet forward to the top of the mat. Rolling down so everything's coming towards the crown. Inhale, root down to rise up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to do one more sun sail. We don't do too many of these in gentle, so hopefully it's okay. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen out. Exhale, release. Inhale, step into plank. When you're ready, sink down to the knees. Because I forgot to sit back. Told you I'm tired. Get your blocks under your hands. We need to step through and do warrior. So left foot forward. Curl the back toes. All right, we're back in it. Slowly straighten out the front leg. And then exhale, lunge the knee. Do that a couple more rounds. And this is just our gentle warm up before we take that warrior position on this side. So the next time you lunge the knee, hop the back foot forward and down. Let your hands float away from the blocks. Slowly and steadily come up, find your balance. Let your palms face your thighs, and then take the arms up. Think of long linear lines with your back leg, with your front thigh, with the shaft of the spine, with your arms. Affirming mentally with it, I attune myself to the will of higher power. Exhale, you're going to bring the arms down, right arm first, then the left arm underneath. Lift the chest. Now bow to the inside of the left knee. Feel the head down, squeeze the left hip in and under. Inhale, lift up the head and heart. Take the arms down, lose the blocks, spin out of that back heel. Now step to planks. Descend to the knees. Now we're back in business. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Couple more rounds. When you're ready, tuck the toes, launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And this is where we rock back and forth between plank and down dog. So I know as a beginner, I see this with students, but I'll also remember it with my own body when I started. I would swing more through the limbs. So try to connect to your center, try to connect to your core and move from your midsection if possible. On the next plank, knees down, hips down, heart high. Exhale, extended child. 2 more flows like that. And this time in child, back and hands up alongside your feet. Release the weight off your hands. You may still feel the heat in your palms. Lots of reflex points in the hands, just like the feet and the ears. Slow your breathing down. Slow your heart down. Reach the arms in front of you, rock up to hands and knees. We'll close out this Surya Namaskara by curling the toes, taking down dog, and traveling the feet forward towards the hands. On the next in-breath, the root to rise. As if you're welcoming the sun for the day. And then exhale, hands to prayer. Close the eyes. In Ananda Yoga, we use this affirmation. Salutations to the sun and to the awakening light within. To the dawning of a higher state of consciousness in all beings. Now we're not doing the whole moon south because that takes too long. We're doing a little bit of the moon south. So let your arms circle up, lace your fingers, pump your wrists skyward, curve to the right. Inhale, come up. Exhale, step to your left, separate your hands. Probably goddess. Bring the hand down to the floor in front of you. Squat down so that your torso is more parallel to the floor. You got it. The tailbone's dropping, the crown of the head's reaching out. The weight is more in your feet than your hands. And then cross your left elbow over to rest on your left knee. Let your right arm hang free. And then inhale, circle that right arm skyward. Exhale, take it back down. 2 more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, release. Look down. Last one. Once that right arm hangs free, you can cross over to the right thigh. Left arm hangs effortlessly down. And then inhale, sweep it out and up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, open up. Exhale, when the hand comes down, bring it to center. Turn your heels back behind your toes. Straighten out through your legs. And forward fold into Prasarita Padottanasana. There's all different types of examples you can do with your arms. I'm going to let you freestyle it. What is your favorite way or what feels natural for your hands to do here? Couple more breaths. The more you lodge your feet down, the more you're going to ignite the muscles through the legs, both front and back. Slowly travel the hands forward, lift the head halfway up. Stack your hands to your waist. Come on to stand. Good. Right foot's going to rotate towards the front of the room. Your right arm's going to reach out over it. And then exhale, take the hand to the chin. Take the left arm and reach it now up towards the sky. Triangle pose. Breathe. Now casually look towards your right foot. Lunge that knee, spin off the back heel to a lunge. Your left hand can root and your right arm can circle up. Good, exhale, bring that hand down. Step or springboard the back foot forward. Fold into your Uttanasana. We're doing a modified variation of the moon sound today. Inhale, let your arms reach up. Relace the hands. Reach the palms upward. And this time curve left. We're starting the moon sound with Chandrasana, the crescent moon. Inhale to the top. Exhale, step to the right. We've got Kali Goddess again. Now remember I said the ancient yogis would say that we embody all of these things that we witness here on earth, but also in the celestial skies in our bodies. And the story of Kali, when she was on her rage, when she finally calmed and cooled down, she expelled her tongue, and if you would look inside of her mouth, you could see the whole universe. So we're going to do that type of breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale, expel the tongue, breathe out through the mouth. Good, 2 more. Last one. Good, bring your fingertips down to the floor. Going into this lower form of squat, which I'm already burning. Are you guys burning too? Okay, let's heel toe the feet towards each other and let's move into a squat halasana. Maybe you find relief there. Maybe you find, well, this isn't helpful. This is still burning. You can sit on the block, you can sit on the floor if it's too much. So maybe it's too much for your hips or your knees at this point. Modify. So see if you can bow your head into your prayer hands. Maybe let your thumbs rest in between the eyebrows. We're going to move into Prasarika Padottanasana, and that's that wide stance forward fold. So when the hands come down, we'll need to heel toe the feet apart for that wider stance as we double over. We know gravity is bringing circulation, the energy currents towards the dwelling place of the moon, the brain. The moon is always considered yin, or cool, whereas the sun is yang, heated. And this does help to calm and cool the mind and the nervous system. Now walk your hands forward, slowly straighten your arms, lift the head halfway, even out that blood flow. Take the hands to the hips or waist, slowly climb to stand. Your right hand's gonna stay here on the hip as you rotate your left foot. Your left arm's gonna extend over that leg to catch the shin in triangle. And then if you want to free up that right arm, you can sail it skyward. Stacking the shoulders. So the breath is equivalent to life, just like water is equivalent to life. So breathe to bring this pose to life. Look down at your left foot, lunge that knee. Bring the hands down. You may have to wiggle the right toes back. Planting the right hand eventually, taking that revolving twist. Exhale, land your left hand, springboard the back foot forward, close into yourself. All right, inhaling up. So since it was a solar eclipse, we worked a little bit more on the sun salutation, and we're going to end the moon sow, hands to heart center as well. Close the eyes and affirming salutations to the moon, to the awakened life within, and to the dawning of a much higher state of consciousness in all beings. Then relax the arms down. Shoot. Come on down. Losing time. I had more planned. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the strap. I was gonna do Janu Shirshasana, which is the singular leg, but we're losing time. So let's do both. Ashimo. Flex the knees, lift the chest, and exhale, hands forward. Bring the ends of the strap together, walk the hands more towards the feet if you have the availability. If you don't, just pause there. And then gently lower the belly towards your thighs. So just so you know, the eclipse energy can bring sudden surprises. The eclipse can highlight things in our psyche or heart that need to be overturned. That need to be more examined. Since it was a new moon, this could potentially bring about new beginnings, new on-starts. You may have felt lower or more depleted energetically due to that new moon. So the eclipse energy usually stays with us for a few months, but it's usually most intense around the actual event. On your next inhale, let's gently start to come up. Bring your block with you. And I do want to do waterfall before Shavasana. If you prefer shoulder stand, go for shoulder stand. I'm honestly getting to where I don't like doing shoulder stand anymore. And I've always loved that pose until lately. But it's not great for my neck anymore. So if you want to follow me in waterfall, you're on your back, your feet are flat, knees bent, you're tucking and lifting the buttocks, and the block will go under your sacrum. Now, if you don't want to lift the feet, you can be here. This is actually an inversion too. But if you want to lift the feet into waterfall, you may. Again, if you want to be more active than this, you can take shoulder stands. Just be cautious with your neck. The eyes can be open or closed. You can be static or you can add in playful movement. Just check in to see where your higher self guides you. So maybe what your body is calling for. As you exhale, lower and land your feet. You inhale, tuck and lift, and then remove the block. And as you exhale, lower. I would suggest a counter, hugging the knees in. This is where we're going to prepare for Shavasana. So maybe you want that hip opener. Maybe you're dealing with some relationship stuff. Maybe you want the blocks under your knees for reclined butterfly. Perhaps you want to just sprawl out in quartz pose. Maybe you feel the need to open your heart to create something restorative for the chest to open. We actually did a lot of movement today. You may find that when you move into stillness, your body still feels like it's moving. Maybe you've got that vitality coursing through your body. It's okay to have a high vibration here as you're taking rest. Just try to settle down your mind. I saw over the weekend, someone had written called the Eclipse Reflections. And it was written by someone called Miana. Thought I'd share it with you here. Deep within the fertile darkness, awakened by the dream of light, new life finds its form. This is the place of possibility. This is the space of transfiguration between the darkness and light. Through desolation and longing, beauty is revealed. It is through the cycles of regeneration that we come to know the true heart of life. We can be awakened and reawakened, awake and reawakened. In this part of our practice, we are meant to stay awake and alert, to have time for self-reflection. Notice any potential insight that you can receive. Turn from motion to stillness, music to silence. deep in the stillness and silence now. Let's go ahead and bend the knees. Roll away to one side. Slowly lift up to take a seat. Palms open. Joining your hands together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We all walk away from this practice being free and at peace with anything out of our control, anything imposed upon us by another, or any internal concerns of our own. We walk away with peace in our bodies, peace in our minds, peace in our hearts. It might be develop the peace that passes all understanding.